everybody, it's KayBeast, and for this week's video I have another sketchbook tour. I could not, sorry I'm just adjusting my tripod, I could not get myself to paint anything this week. I was just not feeling it, and I still have like another 20 of these to go through, so I figured I might as well do another one. It's been about a month since the last one, so why not? So this is my fourth sketchbook. I worked on this one from ages 16 to 19, from November of 2004 to May 2007. The reason why it took me so long to fill this up is because of just how massive it is, and I had a lot of small sketchbooks. There was a period when I would usually have 3 or 4 sketchbooks that I was working in at one time, each one for like 1 foot in my bag, one was normal size, this one was huge, you know, stuff like that. So this is massive. This was given to me by my teacher. I was taking studio art at high school. I was in the Fine Arts Academy at Lowell High School in Lowell, Massachusetts. And in the studio art class for the Fine Arts Academy, we were given one of these massive sketchbooks every year. So I have 2 of them. So this one I got my junior year, and I got another one my senior year. So because of how large this was, I didn't like to work in it an awful lot, and I'm really bad at filling in paper. But, yeah, this is an 11 by 14, and I don't even know where they got this one, because I've kind of wanted to get another one, but I don't even know where they got them, so. But yeah, so let's flip through this, shall we? First page is not drawn on. I learned the hard way that the first page tends to get smudged, so I just stopped doing that. Let's see, I believe this was for a classroom assignment. We were supposed to draw ourselves and our inner selves, or our alter ego or something like that. So it's me, and I'm like all sad, and then this person is supposed to represent like my interests or something, and I'm comforting myself. I don't know. It was a weird idea, but yeah, I was 16, so whatever. Let's see. Chick with dragon. I did a lot of dragons, as you've seen by now, and this was right in the middle of my anime and manga obsession when it first started, so I was inspired by those new character designs and stuff, and I hadn't been drawing people for very long, so. These are studies from Spirited Away. I saw the movie in my junior year for the first time, and I fell in love with it. It's still my favorite Ghibli movie. My other one is Princess Mononoke. Absolutely love them. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna do, you know, like a big drawing, so I was planning something out. This wound up turning into that sculpture, that dragon sculpture in my very first old art video. That I don't have anymore. I threw it out because it was falling apart, but I have it on video for that very reason. And it was originally going to be Spirited Away fan art, but my teacher was like, you know, please don't make it fan art, make it something original. There's nothing wrong with fan art, but this particular teacher didn't enjoy it. So this was done after school in the class, and it was me basically deciding, okay, how can I take Haku's design and make it something a little more unique? And she was happy enough with this to let me finish the project. So this was Sharpie. I always had Sharpies with me, and I basically planned out how I'd make them different. And then that result is in my first old art video. So this is one of my favorites. This is a little vase of roses that I drew from life. My mom loves roses. It's her favorite flower. And she had a little vase sitting on the living room table, and every now and then she'd replace the flowers and put some new ones in. So one evening I just sat in front of the coffee table on the floor watching a movie and drawing the flowers in front of me. So, and I used to do that a lot in high school, so roses are one of those flowers that I just know how to draw now because I drew them from life all the time. So if you want to get good at drawing something from memory, draw it from life. Do it a lot, and it sticks. So. This was a study for another piece I did as part of my class. I don't think I showed that in the video. It was basically, it was a Native American man in front of like this fire, and the fire was turning into like this Thunderbird thing, and it was supposed to be like a heritage piece or something. I know that there was, like, we were supposed to like do a piece that was like about our heritage or something. And it actually wound up going up on this little display in school. The actual painting that I finished. I don't like it now, which is why I don't think it showed up in my video. Honestly, I can't remember if it did or not. But I am an 8th native, and it's something that I've, you know, grown up being really proud of and stuff. So I, you know, played with that idea in here. And this was me again figuring out, okay, what is the piece gonna look like? For planning out larger pieces, this was the first time I really started exploring like thumbnailing and planning out. Usually I just kind of dive right into it, and it's definitely the studio art class that I took that taught me to do that. I'm still not amazing at it, but and I would only do sketches, like doing color comps and stuff. That had never really happened. I couldn't even really make myself do that in college. It's something I really need to make myself do, but usually once I have a sketch done, I'm like, okay, let's go. So that's something I gotta work on. This is yet another dinosaur piece. I did this with some color pencils that I got in my stocking. I got a set of like 8 pencils that I use in everything. Pretty sure this was me trying to recreate something from my first sketchbook. So, a little dinosaur scene, and then I just kind of copped it on the grass. Still can't do grass that good, but yay, more dinos. Something I do a lot of. This is my character. Just trying to do something semi-realistic. Didn't really know how to draw faces realistically then, so this was an attempt at drawing her, and she kind of looks a little weird, but I tried, right? So. These are some head studies. We had some assignments in class that required us to, okay, you gotta draw 4 heads in different perspectives. You gotta draw 4 hands, and we did this like once a week. So I found some, these might have been from comics, these might have been online, I can't remember, but I drew the head and the neck as part of my homework. And then we had to do some more. That's definitely from an anime. And I tried to make it realistic, and eventually I was like, nope, that's not happening. So that was me drawing from reference. And then another week, okay, draw eyes from reference, and I had books and magazines. I mostly had all those film magazines they put out around Lord of the Rings when they were coming out. I had like all of them, because obsessed. And when I was trying to draw from life, I usually used those as reference, because I was like, oh my god, obsessed with that movie. Still am. Lord of the Rings is still a big deal for me. I'm actually getting a Tolkien-inspired tattoo next month, so yee, more nerdy tattoos. We had to do noses. Noses have always been one of the hardest things, but I've gotten better at it lately, and that's because I took figure drawing, and we had to really, really study the face for like a month, so that helped a lot. But yeah, doing studies from life, or these are probably from magazines actually. And then we had to draw somebody, a whole person from life. So this is my friend Nan. She was in a lot of classes with me all throughout high school. I still have her on Facebook. And I drew this in the morning during my bio class or something. We were just kind of having a slow day in class, or it was one of those days where you're just kind of allowed to sit around and wait for the bell to ring. So I was like, hey, I have to draw a person who wants to pose, and Nan was like, I'll do it, and she just kind of plopped her chin on her soda bottle and just sat there, and I drew her, and then she kind of made fun of me for the rest of the day because I made her look old. Playfully making fun, not like mean making fun. You know, the kind of way you just kind of, you know, dig at your friends a little bit. It was kind of that. So she wound up looking way older, but that mostly has to do with the harshness of the shadows. If you make the shadows too abrupt, it can make it look older, so soft shading was not something I had learned how to do yet. But yeah, that's Nan. And that's a self-portrait. We had to do one of those too. So this is me at, let's see, April 2005. I was 16 when I drew this, I believe. Yes, I was 16. That's the year I turned 17, so that's in a couple months later. So yeah, the ponytail thing is still something I do all the time. But yeah, that's a self-portrait, and it actually looked pretty close. So I was pretty happy with that. I just didn't finish coloring in the hair for whatever reason. This is a frontal view. See, 3/4 has always been easier for me to do than frontal view. So this looks more like me. This does not. And I think it has to do with placement and shadow. It just, my face looks a little flat. So, but we were told to do self-portraits at various angles. So this is frontal view. I was going to use what I learned to draw a character and I never finished. So there's that. This was from life of a park near my house in high school. This was I was getting really into drawing from life and drawing environments and, well, not environments, but doing still lifes and stuff. So I just kind of took my sketchbook and my pencil, and I either rode my bike or I walked there. I can't remember. But this was a little park near my house, and I just kind of plopped down on a bench sun and just started drawing. So. Another study from the park. Just a gate and like a stone wall. It was a small park in the middle of the neighborhood, so it was surrounded by this stone wall with this metal gate that closed at night, and I just liked the architecture of it, so I did a little doodle of that. See, June 28th. Okay, yeah, this was right in the middle of summer vacation, so that's probably why I was doing that. I didn't have a license yet. I only got my license last year, so me going around places during summer didn't really happen much. I just kind of stayed home. So I'd usually just walk around my neighborhood or rode the bike. Or sometimes I took the bus downtown if I was meeting with friends, but I didn't do that very often. I was kind of a homebody. Still am. This is another character sheet for my main character for that comic I started in high school. So rather than work on the actual comic itself, I just did a billion character sheets and designs and studies and stuff. So this is another one. She doesn't even look like this anymore, and she's not Japanese anymore either. So, you know, a lot of this stuff wound up not even being used. But at the time, I was like, I'm just gonna practice this a billion times and never draw a single page. And this is a full illustration. Again, this is almost 13 years old, and I have yet to draw the comic. I need to do that. But she's way different. But I did a lot of character studies. So. More character studies. This character doesn't even exist anymore. I wound up writing her out because she had no purpose and just didn't need to be there, so she's gone. More characters. Just again doing full bodies and doing character sheets basically without actually working on the actual story. More studies. I think when I was attempting to write the first chapter, which is way different now, but that was me figuring stuff out and doing studies from comics, I think. This is not from my comic. I think it might just be random character design. So I did a lot of random drawings like these that didn't really have any like story. It was just I wanted to draw something pretty, so I did. This was a thought that didn't get finished. Clearly I had something else in mind when I finished. And oh my god, that's like, look at the it's like a bobblehead and like the no hips, which is just something I always had trouble with. It took me forever to figure out how to actually make the hips look normal. So, more studies for a scene or something. I was sort of not storyboarding, but writing the story out very loosely. So I must have written a particular scene, and must have drawn it. I can't remember. Another character page. This is like the third one in this book already. So, and it's pretty much all the same stuff. I just felt like drawing it again, so I did. And then of course I have to do it for the other characters, but I don't finish because they're not the main characters, so they're not as important. So I didn't do as much work. Is probably what the thought process was there. These are studies from manga, because I was like, I'm gonna learn from manga to make my characters look better. So this is me just drawing faces and poses from manga that I had and putting my own characters' faces on them. Okay, sorry if you hear any noise in the background. My brother's in the other room, and people are shoveling snow or using their snow blowers. We got almost 10 to 15 inches. It was what was predicted. I think it wound up being about a foot. We got a foot yesterday. so that was fun. Anyway, more studies from comics and stuff. Mostly Clamp. I had a lot of Clamp comics. I still do. Still one of my favorites. So, doing studies from that. Practicing hairstyles, I think, in studies. So, don't really know if that turned into anything or not, but... Oh, wait, here we go. Okay, this was me designing my character's bedroom. So, just kind of figuring out, okay, what kind of stuff does she have? But I don't even know if it still looks like this anymore. I think I probably changed it again. But yeah, that was me just trying to figure that out for, you know, when I would eventually draw the comic, which I still haven't done. So, yeah. Studies, that's from a comic, that's random, that's a hair idea, yep. More comic studies. Basically just me drawing faces from a manga that I liked. I think it was Tsubasa. Yeah, it was Tsubasa. More studies. This was from Negima, I think. I was like, hey, I can learn anatomy. But honestly, the anatomy in that isn't very accurate either, so. But I was like, yeah, so I'll practice. I studied from that. This is from Battle Angel Alita. This is me, you know, trying to study the fighting poses and stuff. By the way, I'm pretty hyped for that movie, although I don't really understand the decision with her eyes. Like, it's a little weird, but it's my favorite comic series, Battle Angel Alita, so I'm still hyped for the movie. Just, yeah, that eye thing was not the best decision. This is me just playing around with fighting poses, I guess. Let's see, a dragon. Again, which I drew a lot of. More character designs, figuring out outfits, so even though I'm pretty sure the outfits didn't change from the last time I drew them, I just like drawing them again. Really random stuff. Character designs, faces, eyes. I drew an eagle. I drew a Ninja Turtle, I guess. I might have been in class and bored and talking to a friend. There were a few classes, junior, senior year, that things tended to get slow and the teacher would just kind of let us sit there and chat near the end, and I always opened up my sketchbook and started doodling. And sometimes my friends would be like, oh, you should draw this. Or I'd be bored and be like, okay, tell me something to draw. And I'm pretty sure that's where that came from. Dragon study from another story. I was going to have a fantasy story, so I was trying to figure out the anatomy of the dragon and stuff. Testing out some markers that I got. I actually still have these markers. They're water-based, but it's a really big pack of them. I think that could be fun to do as like a cheap art supply challenge or something. I can't remember what they're called or where I got them or how much they were, and because they're water-based, I know they're going to have issues, but I still have them, so I might as well play with them, right? I don't know if these are technically character studies. It was just kind of some random stuff, I think. I'm seeing some repetition in the character design, so this must have had like a reason behind it, but I honestly can't remember. I just would draw random characters and random outfits, I guess. This is one of my characters, and this is me copying a style from a manga, because this is definitely not my style. She has hips. I definitely couldn't draw that from memory, so must have been copying something. Copying the same pose, I guess, and building a character up around it, but I never finished it. Oh, nudity. Yep. Naked warning. I'll definitely make sure to put that there. This is a character design from the Firekeeper saga I was reading in high school. I still love that book series, and it was me trying to draw her, and she basically shows up nude in the beginning because she lived in the wild for a while. So it was me designing her character, so I mean, she was nude. This is me designing a dragon character. I did that for a while. I was gonna make it like my like avatar or something online. It never wound up turning into a thing, but I definitely played with her design for a while. So this random dragon thing. Clothing sketches, I guess. I don't know. Just trying to design fun outfits, I guess, for characters. This was partially from a study and then me just kind of building up on top of it, so yeah, I have no idea what that is. It was just, so I'm going to draw my box. I did that a lot. More dragons. Another character sheet. Another character sheet. I think I had, you know, because the story was originally set in Japan, so I had that sort of obligatory, you know, kimono scenes. I was drawing that, but the story is different now. Way different. Studies from Final Fantasy Advent Children, because that came out around the time that I drew this, and me and my little brother loved it. And I guess I got food on here or something. I can't remember. Another character page. Just studying different aspects of stuff that never came to fruition. This was me brainstorming about my story. I think I had watched a movie and it gave me some ideas. So I was writing down ideas and drawing a character design, and then I just... Yep. Me continuing on that train of thought, figuring out a possible story angle. Character designs, figuring out, drawing a scene from the first chapter, again, that doesn't exist anymore, but it did back then, so. More characters. I designed around this time, so she was new. This was me doodling in pen, which is something that I didn't really do much. Just make sure that isn't frame right, okay. Which is something I didn't really do very often, but I kind of liked doing it. So I drew a griffin. I'm pretty sure this is a study from something. And another character sheet. I think I had written a plot point, an aspect of the story, because I know what this is all. This is all from a specific moment in the old version of the story. So I think I was drawing out ideas based on what I had already written. And yep, this is all based on that too, so basically two of my characters meet in a particular setting, but it's changing again, but back then that's how it was, so I was figuring out that scene. More of that, actually. This is kind of random stuff, but this all has to do with that one particular scene. Some mythical creatures, I guess, that I didn't really finish. More character studies. This is some character studies from a different comic or a different story that I haven't worked on in ages and haven't fleshed out very much, but I'd like to. This is more of that. I had a lizard species in this particular story, and this is all random. I have a lot of stories, I just never finish any of them. Random clothing and just doodles mostly. I had a really bad habit of just doodling in a corner and never doing anything with it, so. Yeah, that's more of that. Drawing reptile people again, trying to figure them out. Just random stuff, I guess. Never actually finished it. Don't really know when it's from. Yeah, just lots of random stuff. And again, never finish a paper. Like, finishing the sheet of paper was like something I never did. This was me brainstorming names for characters from this second story I came up with and doing some designing for it, because I hadn't even finished the first story that I was writing, but I felt like starting a second one, and now I think I have like 4 or something. I don't know. And then doing character designs for story number 2, which is fantasy, and I think I'm taking it in a new direction. I just haven't figured that out yet. I gotta finish my other stories first. But, you know, character designs for story number 2. More designing and studies. I think I did some studies from, I think Final Fantasy 12. I had the art book, so I think I was using some of that as inspiration for some design ideas. Oh yeah, definitely. Because I'm pretty sure that's from that. So. Random person. I don't think she's anything in particular. I was just brainstorming an outfit or something. Dragon lady, lady, I don't know, just doodles. More doodles, a face, a griffin. I don't know. These probably had some ideas behind them at the time, but you know, that was like 13 years ago, so I can't remember what they were. More outfit ideas, I guess. I don't know. Drew my character in an outfit idea. Might have been inspired by something I saw in a magazine or online or something. More character designs from story number 2. Character designs from story number 1. I designed my main character's parents, I think. Yeah, and just kind of playing around with their designs. Outfit ideas for story number 1. Doodles from story number 1. This is all random. Just dragons and girls, I guess, which is kind of just what I always drew, so. More random character designs. I think I came up with a 3rd story, I think, at this point, because she looks a little familiar. I think she's from another story idea. Oh yeah. Character design for story number 3. She also looks way different, and I don't really have a story in mind for her anymore. Like, it's mostly like I'd like to use her character design, but the story in my original thought just doesn't really exist anymore. But I liked her ultimate character design so much, I kind of want to write a story for her, but this is me figuring out story number 3. This is all in like a 2-year period, basically. Random studies. Character designs from story number 2. Character designs from story number 1. This is story number 1 as well, I think. Might have been a study. Can't remember. And I think that's it. I have blank sheets in here. I did it again. I didn't finish the sketchbook. Bad caring. Oh, this is me testing pens. So, I did it again. I didn't finish it. A lot of my sketchbooks aren't finished. I have a problem with that. But yeah, so this is sketchbook number 4 of, oh my god, 22, I think. I don't know. But yeah, this is all story stuff. And my stories evolved a lot over time, and a lot of them I've dropped, and a lot of them I'm still working on, so hopefully I can actually get around to, you know, posting one someday. I would like to do that, but we'll see. Anyway, that does it for this week's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye!